beautiful? A good report, is it fair sounding? Believe it or not, these two words here will comprise this question. Does the song sound good? Because if the song doesn't sound good, you ought not listen to it. Why? Because it's not a reflection of the creative unity of God. You can play a song. I'm not saying that, like I've been to churches and the best thing they can do, they're just putting forward and it doesn't sound that good. My guys know what I'm talking about. We went to one church, remember that one church we went to, and they had to restart the song in the middle. That's the best they could do, right? When I was in Ohio, when I first got there, they were doing the best they could do. I get it. I'm not down in that. I'm just saying when you do a poor job and you could do better, you're not giving God your best, or you have better and you're not putting the better foot forward, that's not lovely enough a good report. As a matter of fact, study this out yourself. Were there specific Levites whose job was to play music and sing songs because they were better than anybody else? You'll find out God dictated his music. Man, that would bring the choir down the huge filter. I'm serious. Look at the way that they did it in the Old Testament. God's dictation. There were sons of Korah for a reason. There were Levites for a reason. There were instrumental people for a reason. Not because they just grabbed Billy Bob and, Sammy and just put them together and say, can you just strum a G and let me sing? No, they were good. They were skilled. They played well. They harnessed that and made it work. He says, is it lovely? Is it beautiful? Does it sound good? And lastly, is it worthy? If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, these are worth claims. Occupy your mind with things that have a worth. You can think of many things. The question is not can you think of them. The question is should you think of them. Are these things, is what I'm feeding my mind, does it have a weight to it? Am I taking in things that are worthy of my thoughts? God created this intricate brain of mine to take in all of these phenomenal thoughts and give me capacities to learn other languages and play instruments and read and dissect things in my mind and have rational discourse and all these great things, and I'm going to boil it down and sing a song that repeats itself 1,000 different times in 3 different chords, and then I'm done. Is that what I'm going to do? He says, think of things that have virtue, things that are praiseworthy, things that have a weight to them, things that are valuable. I'll give you this and then we'll close. I was reading through one of the commentaries and the person said this. I thought it was so profound. I've never thought of this before until I thought of it when I read it. He said, you can only think of one thought at a time. How profound is that? Try thinking of 2 thoughts at the same time right now. Can't do it. You will only think in isolated thoughts. You can think of a string of thoughts, one thing that prompts another, but you're only thinking of one thought at a time. Why do you think Paul says, guard your mind, think on these things? Because if you're thinking about something that's true, guess what you're not thinking about? Lies. If you're thinking on things that are honest, you're not thinking about things that are shameful. If you're thinking about things that are just, you're not thinking about things that are unrighteous. If you think of things that are pure, you're not thinking about things that are carnal. If you think of things that are lovely and good rapport, you're not dwelling on things that are not fair sounding. If you're thinking of things that have worth, you're not thinking of things that don't have worth. God gave you a filter to be able to think on certain things once at a time so you can guard your mind. Are you going to do a perfect job at it? No. But do we need to start probably enacting some filters in our life to go through the music that we listen to that's going to influence our thoughts, that's going to influence our action, influence our hearts, influence our speech? Absolutely. Absolutely we do. I think after Paul gave this list, he knew that it was going to be hard. I mean, he called them out. He's talking about joy of the Lord. He's talking about, thought life and rejoicing and fixing church problems and all this list, true, honest, just, pure, lovely, good report, virtue, praise. I think he knew they're going to get discouraged. This is way too hard for them to do, right? So then he adds verse 9. Those things which you both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do. I think he kind of knew that you'd probably get discouraged and you'd probably say, well, that's good for another time. Paul said, no. All these things I just told you, do them. Put them into practice. Don't just sit idly by and listen to the things I need to guard my mind with. That I need to get the Word of God into my heart so that I might not sin against God. That I may have an accurate filter so that I am filtering things that are going through my mind. And I'm getting all the stuff I don't want out, but I'm getting all the stuff I need in my soul. And it's getting worthy. Put this into practice, Paul says. Put it into practice. Don't let it sit idle. Don't let it sit by the wayside. Don't be a Christian that's macaroni and cheese soup. Strain out those things so you can have something that's quality left over. I think a lot of times we have dumbed down our Christianity, both in theology and in songology, hymnology, because we don't put this test to the music we listen to. And if we're honest, we often don't put this test to a lot of things we listen to. But if we would take this filter, you can apply it to music, you can apply it to a whole lot of other things in your life, but you apply it. I wonder if you just would commit to say, let me do this week. I wonder how many radio stations would change. How many Pandoras would be flipped through. How many Spotifys would be changed. How many YouTubes would not be listened to this week. And then in turn, how better I'm going to feel and think for the rest of the week. I just wonder if you were to commit to say, I'm going to do that. Not just in music, what if I do it for the rest of my life? What if I do it in all areas of my life? The conversations around me. Right? Imagine having a conversation around you and somebody says like something false, something that's carnal, and you just moonwalk out of that bad boy. They're like, where's that person going? You ain't thinking on things that are pure and holy and just and righteous. You're going to make a whole lot of people mad. They're going to be like, well, ain't that holy roller? Just, I wonder, but follow me, I wonder how many conversations it would exclude us out of and give you time to think on things that are right. I don't know about you, but I went through this message and I was super convicted because, like I said, I don't always apply this in my music, right? I don't always apply this in my music. I've had to learn and grow and get this. So I'm in the same boat you guys are and say, man, that's... But I just wonder today, how many people say, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm not going to try this in music, but I'm going to try it in my life. I'm going to challenge you tonight to do just that. You heard the message, we've sung the songs, we're going to get an invitation here in a minute. You can stay in your seat, it's fine, you can come forward and pray if you want to, but as Mark makes his way up, I just want every head